Hello again. Hi, this is Stan Craig, and I'm happy to be back with you this morning to continue our series on advanced selling skills. As you may know, this is the third time we've had an opportunity to talk about this, and the reason we are is because it relates directly into what we're doing at NetLaw. One of the things that I found in my career in financial services is that I did not get all the help I needed whenever I needed it. In fact, training would come sort of sporadically and not always on the time that I had a schedule for it. So we're trying to be sure that not only do we help you with product knowledge, but we add some of the things that I've learned over my nearly 30 years in financial services. 30 years, boy, that's scary, isn't it? But it says something really important about the profession that you're in. It says that you're not in a part time job or a come and go industry, something that's here today and gone tomorrow, but you are investing your life and your time in something that is not only important, but significant. Significant in the sense that it will always be here as a service that clients need. Financial services is a core of who we are as agents who serve companies and clients with financial products, but it's also the core of every client's personal financial situation. I would always remind my clients and myself that health care is one of the most important things that every family has on their agenda. The second, of course, is taking care of our children, but your ability to take care of yourself and be sure your health care is maximized, as well as taking care of your family, depends upon your financial ability. So these programs that we're sharing are designed to help you do that. I love the theme again, as I've said so many times, of no family left behind. Our family was left behind. I have told you several times that, I grew up in real poverty, so I know what it's like to feel left behind. No family left behind. I served in a church where we had a number of families who were sometimes left behind. But once I had my opportunity to grow with Merrill Lynch, I learned how money works. And that's what's so important about what you do. So I applaud you for what you do. And I trust that these series of programs that we're doing every Wednesday will not only help you get a better feel about what you're doing as a financial services professional, but also understand how NetLaw can be really important to you in helping that work for you. So let's chat together about advanced selling skills. I want to just talk with you about what's really important. Selling skills is a lifelong study. I told you I've been doing this for 30 years, but I'm not concerned about learning new things. In fact, part of what makes financial services so interesting to me is there's always things new to learn. I just finished reading the Wall Street Journal this morning. I learned new things. Every time I open my Wall Street Journal, I'm learning something new about the economy, about the market, about investment opportunities. It's just a wonderful place to be to continue your education. And anything we want to do well, we study, right? And if you want to be successful as a salesperson, you have to spend some time studying sales. You've heard before, well, you're a natural. Well, you may be a natural in your ability to speak. You may be a natural in your ability to understand and organize material, but there's no such thing as a natural salesperson. Selling is a profession, and it takes skills, not just whatever natural abilities you may have. You have to add to them because sales is a profession. What's the difference between a profession? It means we get paid for doing something with skill. Paid for doing something with skill. That's a profession. A physician is professional. An attorney is professional, but so are you because you get to pay to do a specific task by the successes of your skills and by applying your skills to what you're doing. Selling is a profession, and I welcome you to this profession if you're just beginning, and I applaud you for choosing it if you've been a part of this for some time. Knowing how and why are really two important keys of being successful in selling. Knowing how we do what we do, how you present an idea, how you present a financial product that's going to solve a problem for a client, knowing how you do that's important, but why is really important, isn't it? I have a friend, Nito Cabane, who's a member of the National Speakers Association, who has written marvelous books on selling and presentations. Nito Cabane, Cabane starts with a Q. And Nito says this, so many times we're told what to do without the why. And the most significant thing is why we're doing it. Why? In fact, Nito says, if you understand the why, getting to what is really simple. If you know why you want to do something, it naturally leads to the what part of the question. So as a salesman, you need to know how. You need to have the skills, but you need to know why. And for me, that's the most important part of selling. I understand what I'm offering and its benefit to the person I'm speaking to. I told you before that when I started this profession, I was a missionary for money. Not that I wanted more, but I wanted to help people understand more how money worked. And I wanted them to understand why what I was saying was so important. Amateurs, those are those who don't get paid. This is a simple definition. How do you choose? How do you determine who is an amateur and a professional? Professionals get paid. There are people who play basketball, right? They play basketball. But the difference is those who get paid are called professionals. Those who do not get paid to do it are amateurs. And right now, college teams all across America have young men who are trying to move from amateurs to professionals. They want to start getting paid for what they do. And we get paid really well for what we do. In fact, you can make yourself financially secure in this profession. And you can do it not only because of you wanting your family to be included and not being left behind, but you're benefiting other families with everything you offer. When you recruit somebody new, you know what you're doing? You're offering them an opportunity to grow toward financial independence. That's really important. Why are we doing this? Basically, I spent my career doing it, just the same reason I'm doing this seminar, to help others. And understanding your blank is a secret of success. Wait a minute, Craig, why'd you leave that out? Understanding your what is the secret of success. Understanding your profession. No. Understanding your motivation. No. Understanding your sales skills. No. Understanding your client is a secret of success. If someone is more equipped, when once I drove across Canada in a Volkswagen, believe it or not, in an old style Beetle Volkswagen, I was miserable. I bought that car because it would save money, but it was the most uncomfortable car ever for a cross country trip. Now we drive a Lincoln Navigator. Why do we drive a Navigator? Because I have a need for a large, heavy vehicle because we travel a lot and we go on the road a lot. So that's why that's so important. Understanding your client, pardon me, is a secret to success. And what that simply means is this. There are Volkswagen people, there are Lincoln Navigator people, and you have to know which is which, especially if you're selling Volkswagens or selling Lincoln Navigators, correct? So knowing your client is a secret of success. That's why selling skills are important. You learn more and more about your people. And then understanding your what? Gosh, why'd you keep leaving these blanks here? Because understanding your products is basic. You have to understand not only what your product does, but how it works. You have to be able to explain why it's important to the client. You need to understand what it means in solving a financial problem. So professionals understand not only who their clients are, every physician has to do that when you walk in the door to determine what your need is, but you also have to understand what your product is going to do. You have to understand as a physician, what does this medication do? You have to understand as a salesperson, what is this product you're offering? What does that do? That's why we're having these NetLaw seminars, is try to help you understand what works together. The problem is, where do we learn these skills? That's the difficulty. Where do you learn the skills? Well, first is mentors. I know in your company, and that's one thing I really love about what you do. You have a mentor, someone who recruited you. You have others in your team, others in your group who can help you grow your skills. That's so important. A mentor not only helps you grow your skills, but they encourage you. They point out things that you need to know to deepen your skills and to be more significant in your profession. That's really important. So if you haven't found a mentor, ask someone. And how easy is that? You simply say, John, I'm just starting, or Mary, I'm just beginning, or I've been in this business for a year and I'm not getting the levels I want to. Could you take some time to help me? I would really appreciate it. Remember, one of the things we've taught you in referrals is always asking for advice. And the simple thing to do is when you want a mentor to say, John, can you give me some advice? I've been doing this for 2 years. I want to go full time. What advice can you give me? Find a mentor. That'll be really important to you. And when I repeat some things twice, because probably the most important thing in the business is a mentor. I was so pleased to have a gentleman by the name of Bob Kinchlow, who encouraged me even when I was very discouraged about staying in this business. And a mentor not only provides information, but as I said earlier, encouragement. And it seems to always come when you need it. In fact, in sales, we always need encouragement, don't we? The other thing is a trainer. There are training opportunities that your offices, that your skill, that your team offer all the time. Golly, get in front of special training when it's there for you. Take every opportunity you can for special training. Be on these webinars when you can, because training is so important because it gives us that confidence to understand more about what? Our clients, the most important thing, and our products. And the third is there are some senior salespeople who are just amazing. I've met several in your organization. Last week on Thursday, I was in Atlanta and I met a group of people in a marvelous setting, and we were just able to talk with each other. Senior salespeople want to help. Uh, I've seen some of the same people I've seen in other meetings there. Why? Because they want to help. Your senior salespeople are there not only because they're successful, but because they can share some of what they know about being successful. Spend some time with your senior salespeople. And then there are great books on selling. When I started, I read many of Tom Hopkins' books, which are terrific on the sales process. I read a book by Frank Betcher called "How I Raised Myself from a Failure to a Success Through Selling." Gosh, what a great book! What a great old book, and it has the same basic things in it. And he was selling life insurance. How I raised myself from a failure to a success through selling. There's so many great books out there. Next time you walk in a Barnes and Noble or you get on Amazon, look for some sales books. Here comes a unapologetic commercial, but I have a 99-cent book on Kindle. 99-cent book on Kindle called The Five-Pointed Compass, and it's directed to sales skills and what you need to know in a motivational way for financial professionals. So books are marvelous ways to learn. The Five-Pointed Compass is just one of many excellent books, some really terrific. And the people around you are reading books, ask them what they're reading. And then look for examples. You know, if you hear someone celebrating success, there's two ways to take it. Oh my gosh, I wish it was me. Or, oh my gosh, I need to know what they know. Whenever somebody says, look, John got a great account, or Marianne found a great opportunity, find out what they did. Ask them. Because listen, when I do things well, I'm happy to talk about it. It's not that it's a secret I don't want to share. I want to tell you what's going on. So when you see a person succeed, ask them how it worked. And then practice your skills. Practice your skills. You don't want to learn in front of a client. That's not the place to learn. You want to learn in front of your spouse. Listen, my wife and I practiced my selling skills over and over and over again. We worked on scripts over and over and over again because the last thing I wanted to do was be in front of the most, getting in front of a client's hard. And the most important thing I do is getting in front of a client. I wanted to know that at least I had some confidence in myself. And that's what practice does for you. You know how you learn too? By mistakes. Gosh, mistakes are, when we make a mistake, there's two ways to respond to that. Oh gosh, I'm such a failure. Or my goodness, here's something else I need to learn. Failures are going to occur every day in your life, in every relationship, in everything that you're doing. You can either take them as despair and make you despondent and depressed, or you can take a mistake as an opportunity to go back and learn what it is you need to do better. Gosh, think how every time a baby falls, if it decided, I'm not doing this walking stuff, that's just too hard. I'm not mumbling these words. This learning language is just too hard. I mumble all day long, and mom, dad still doesn't know what I want. This is terrible. Listen, mistakes help us learn. Don't be afraid of mistakes. Go back and analyze and see what was it I did wrong, and correct it next time. Where do you learn? We learn from everything that's happened around us. But just remember, there's a chief skill that cannot be taught that's really important. And what is that? It's persistence. Perseverance is so important. How many times have people turned the tables by persevering? I wish I could teach you perseverance. I wish I could help you do that. That's probably the most important selling skill, because persevering means when you make a mistake, you keep on going. Persevering means when you're not having success, you keep on going. Persevering means when you really don't quite understand that product, you keep on learning. Perseverance means when you can't seem to find that customer, you keep looking. Perseverance. That's what makes the difference in everything, whether it's Winston Churchill, who took years and years and years and years to become the Prime Minister of England, and then years and years and years of hard work to achieve his success, or whether it's Bill Gates or whether it's Steve Jobs. It's interesting to remember that a lot of these folks had great failures when they started, but they kept on and kept on and kept on. You look at the leadership team around you, they persevered. I wish I could teach you perseverance. I can't. Where does it come from? It comes from you deciding, I am not going to stop. It's so important. And if I can help you in any way, if your team members can help you, if your sponsor can help you persevere, we want to do it. Don't give up in the midst of the fight. Sometimes great success is just around the corner, just around the corner. So keep that skill, learn that skill, develop that skill. There's that old poster of a cat hanging from a branch that says, hang in there. You know what that is? That is perseverance, perseverance. But where do you get it? Where do you learn these things? Well, here is the advanced selling skill that can make you an unusual success. I want you to be sure that you understand that niche marketing is something that is a benefit to you. Niche marketing. That sounds very strange, doesn't it? But one way to look at the market is to narrow your focus, correct? You can't talk to everybody, but you do have to talk to somebody. So who are the somebodies that you're going to speak to? That's what niche marketing is all about. And as I said in this title, you have a natural market built into who you are. So today we're going to talk about this marvelous selling skill of niche marketing. This is that advanced sales skill we're talking about. We talked about how to get referrals by asking for advice, which is not only in the book, it was on these past webinars. If you haven't listened to those webinars, I hope you'll go back and catch them on Advanced Skills 1 and 2. But the advanced skill number 3 is niche marketing. It can make all the difference in helping you stay the course, learn the products, understand your client. In fact, niche marketing will get you closer to specific clients than anything that you can do. What is niche marketing? Well, it's the very best referral technique. It's a special referral technique because when you do niche marketing, you're asking people in that niche to tell you about others in the same niche. You become outstandingly competent in that market. It's the very best referral technique. And it's a fit for every sales professional. You may say, well, I don't have one. Well, I guarantee you, you do have a niche. It may be, I don't know that much. You know what your niche is? Others who don't know that much, who want to get educated. It's a fit for every salesperson. And it's a personal presentation because it's who you are. It is who you are. Who you are, where you come from, all the things about you that are unique, really directs you to find your niche. And it's very personal. It touches us where we live. I told you I came from the ministry. I was a pastor for years. I had no idea what it meant to be in this marvelous profession of financial sales. Being a pastor meant that I just knew really one group of people, and that was a community of faith. That's the market I decided I would serve. And it made amazing success for me. And we'll talk about some of those stories later. But that's the built-in advantage that it has. You already understand the vocabulary. You already understand the specific need. You understand how to approach this market because it's you. It is who you are. And it will open more and more doors than anything you can do. My niche was the community of faith. My biggest account came from the community of faith. Every account I opened that grew and grew came from the community of faith. And I'm not the only guy that did that. One of my partners in my training programs was a multi-million-dollar producer because he worked in the community of faith with a specific faith and the charity program. it just opens more and more doors when you get recognized as a trustworthy member of that community and has lifelong meaning. I'm still involved in the community of faith. I still want to help grow the community of faith's financial awareness. I'm making a visit this weekend to go talk to a group of people in the community of faith about financial services again, about what we offer in a very specific thing, this time NetLaw. Once you identify your niche, you're already in it and you stay in it. It's just so important. Remember, best referrals, it's a fit for you. It's personal. It's going to touch you every day where you live. It has that advantage of recognition. It's going to open more and more doors and it will stay with you all your life. But where do you find your niche? Well, I hope you're discovering in these seminars, my whole approach is to ask a question that I think you're probably asking and then hopefully answer it. Part of my teaching and training techniques are hopefully going to be helpful to you in that I ask a question I think you're asking, and then I try to answer it. So where do you find a niche? You have a natural niche. I've said that before. You have a natural niche. What is a natural niche? Mine was men, that's my gender, men in financial services. That's who I was, but men in financial services who want to serve in the community of faith. So I got to know that group, and I was about it in my office. But serving in the community of faith was important to me because I'd come from the ministry. I'd been at the seminary, understood that group of people. My natural niche was I'm going to speak to men who are in the community of faith. It took me a while to learn how to communicate effectively with women clients who became one of the most important groups for me in my business. But then the extension of that, let's narrow it down. It's not just I was speaking to men. I was speaking to men who were active in the community of faith, but I was also speaking to men who needed more knowledge and wanted more knowledge about financial services. So the funnel starts with men. That's a huge category. But if you're a woman, that's a huge category. We sometimes speak best to people in our natural category. And then we narrow it down to the next most unique thing about me was community of faith. And then we narrow it down even closer to those who didn't have great knowledge about financial services, so I could help educate them. And then the point was those who had knowledge, who perhaps were unsatisfied with their current services. So you see how that worked? That's how the niche went. People who were unsatisfied knew they had a need. It just wasn't being filled. That was a great way to get introduced to serious amounts of money. So you have a natural niche, but you can create a chosen niche. Suppose you say, well, I don't really have one, but you know who I want to work? I want to work with physicians. You can do that. You know who I want to work with? Listen, some of the most successful people I know wanted to work with entrepreneurs, with people who own their own businesses. They specialized in that. Not just people who own their own business, but people who are franchise operators. Not just franchise operators, but people who own their own business in construction, own their own business in electronics, own their own business in retail. And they specialized in that because that's where they came from. They had some knowledge there. If you say, look, I don't have one yet, well, pick one. Just pick one. Pick married women. Pick widowed women. Pick women who are in a divorce situation. Pick your native culture. You can create a niche, or if it's not your native culture, pick a culture you love and believe in. The joyous thing about niche is it's something you like to do, and it makes going to work every day a pleasure. Every day a pleasure. Part of what my natural niche is teaching. I love what I'm doing today. Perhaps you can tell that, but I really enjoy this. That's the reason I'm doing it. And when you're in a niche that you enjoy, doing what you enjoy, it makes every day of going to work, going to play. You can create your own niche and you can find that special niche. Listen, there are so many ways to slice the market to get down to the heart of the market that it really is important. I just mentioned to you, let's suppose that you are a woman. Let's suppose you're a woman who is in her 50s or in her 30s. What are the natural characteristics of women in that age group? Do you know people in that age group? Well, I would think so. Do you think there are other people in that age group who need your knowledge or your experience, who've gone through some of the same things? You're beginning to find that special niche when you do that. And you can create seminars. You can show how your not your prospects, but your products meet specific needs in that group. It just makes it so simple when you do that. And there are subsets of niches. As I mentioned before, let's talk about, let's just pick women again, because I really enjoyed working with women. And I work with successful married women who had significant family assets. That was a niche. And I found that group by doing women's seminars and then setting up and saying, if you'd like to get more in-depth knowledge of what it means to manage money, come to this class. There are subsections. In the medical profession. There are physicians, there are family physicians, there are those who do x-ray technology, there are those who are pharmacists. Then there's pharmacists who are independent pharmacists, there's pharmacists who work for pharmacies. You can just keep gutting it down as fine as you like to find the subset of a niche that fits you. And then there's no niche is too small. No niche too small. You just say, look, I'm a guy from Armenia. And my dad owned a grocery store. Is that too small a niche? Absolutely not. That allows you to laser focus. So there's no niche too small for you to work in. In fact, that's probably one of the most successful ways to be involved. There's no niche that's exclusive. You know, you might say, well, I could never get in with that group. Oh, yes, you can. There's not that exclusive that you can't break into any niche, because every niche needs one thing: financial education. Remember, you've heard me say before, everyone thinks that someone knows something that they don't, and that's the reason they are more successful than they are. Someone knows about crypto coins and they understand. Someone knows about blockchain. Yeah. So someone understands why interest rates going up can hurt the market. Someone understands what new drugs are being developed. There's always some subset of knowledge that you can bring to everybody. And there's no niche that doesn't want more knowledge. You may already have one or two or three or four. You may already think, well, wait a minute, I've got one because of my gender. I have two because of my family background. I have three because of my past employment. I have four because I'm very involved in this. You can find your own niche, but I encourage you to do it. I hope you're writing them down while we're talking during this presentation, because you may already have one, two, or three, and they're really important. So once you find your niche, how do you grow it? Well, the easiest thing to do is to prepare a seminar. You all have so many informational tools at your fingertips that you can use to create a class. And you can create a class that's really easy. You can do it in a local public library. You can do it in adult education courses. You can just advertise you're going to have one and have one there in your office. You can invite everyone you call or speak to, or you and your spouse can invite. Prepare a seminar for that group of people. I told you before, mine was what every woman ought to know about investing but was afraid to ask. That seminar I did over and over and over again. And I don't have the details of that seminar. You just create your own. Write down yours. Here's another way to do this. And here's another secret of great success. Partner with another financial advisor. I mentioned to you before that I started doing these women's seminars. And when I left being a full-time financial professional, I was having 3,000 people attending a seminar. We filled the ballroom at the Hyatt Hotel, and we had people clamoring to get in. I did it because, one, I picked a partner. I picked a partner that was this ladies' fashion house in Louisville called Bix. And so Bix would work together, and I talked to the fashion director, and we worked out a relationship where she would have a fashion show, and we called it Fashion and Finance. Bix really wanted it. And then I got all my financial advisors at Merrill Lynch to say, hey, bring your clients. We're going to talk about things going to help your clients. So your greatest teammates are somebody on your team, in your office, someone who's working with your sponsor. You can combine together and create a seminar that can be a blow your socks off event, and everyone shares the benefits. You can host a lunch and learn. Gosh, what a great thing to do. I've told you about my friend Christopher, who just had lunch and learns. His prospecting always was, he introduced himself and said that He's found that just so many people who are preparing for retirement really don't understand how important it is to create a retirement income. So he's having a seminar, or he would say, I understand how many of you gentlemen are leaving the U.S. Navy, and so I just wanted to invite you to a seminar that I'm having, a lunch and learn. Or you can say any type of script that you can say works when you invite people to a lunch and learn. Chris was so successful at this that he would have one whenever they said, well, I can't come on Thursday. He'd say, well, I'm having one next week as well. When is your best time? Uh, you know, Tuesdays at 4. You know what? I'm having one then too, and I'm going to have other people come join us. We can see you Tuesday at 4 in the office. Do it before, after dinner. It's just so simple and easy to do this. It really is, because you want to meet the client's needs. Find a common meeting place. Do you know how many people meet in Starbucks? Oh my gosh, it's become the third office. And some Starbucks have a little room they'll let you use. Many restaurants have a room they'll let you use. And the easy thing to do when you're working is remember our referral system where you ask someone for advice, and then if they say, I think it's a good idea, your question is, how would you do it? So all you need to do is when you're planning a seminar, trying to work and grow in your niche. If you're working with Armenian grocery store owners, you simply say, John, I really want to grow my business by working with more Armenian grocery store owners. If you were me, how would you do it? Your niche will help you grow your niche. Subscribe to whatever publications are out there. If there's an Armenian grocery store newsletter that goes out from the Grocery Suppliers of America, get it and read it. If there's an association, join it and participate. Your Chamber of Commerce in any town, in any state, is going to list all the local clubs and organizations that are available. There's so many places to find clubs and organizations in your niche. Then I called the secretary, I called the president, and I offered myself as a speaker in case they're having a meeting and needs a speaker, and the speaker wasn't able to attend. I'd be happy to come and talk about this was my topic. And then participate in your niche. Don't just ignore it. If you want to get better in it, you have to participate. So I was active in every aspect of the community of faith. So I became known as the financial advisor for people in the community of faith. You can do the same. You grow your niche. It's not that difficult. Remember, your niche is a choice. You can create your own, and that's the best thing going. One of the most successful women I knew in all of my time at Merrill Lynch was a lady in a little town out on the outskirts of a larger town, and she directed 100% of her business to divorced women. Why? Well, because she was, in fact, a divorced woman. So she began her prospecting with that group. She got called. When she called, she'd call women. She'd go to women's meetings. She'd go to counseling meetings. She'd go to everything she could that had that term divorced women in it, in a seminar. But she just didn't go to the seminar. She studied specifically what they needed. And in doing that, she found that many of the women who were divorced actually received large settlements of cash. So she became a specialist on how to use trusts and what kind of trusts can help you with tax investments. And then before long, these women will begin to introduce her to other women in the same situation. You can create your own niche. Think about what you want. And here's the other thing. Try 3 or 4. I went from starting in the community of faith, which was terrific for me. Then I began to work in the corporate market because I wanted to deal with bigger assets. And then I began to work in the retirement community because I saw that was even an easier market to get into. And then I began to narrow it down to those who were interested in investing in the markets because that was the fun thing that I did. So I started getting narrow till I got to folks who wanted to be an investor. And then that introduced me to those who had greater wealth. And that was a wonderful period in my business. And it led me to my next level of Merrill Lynch, Create your own niche, but don't think you don't have one. I hope one thing we've convinced you this morning is that you do. You have one, and it's really important. Why should you do it? Gosh, because you get laser focused. Instead of the shotgun approach, you have the rifle approach. Focused marketing solves so many problems. When you have 2 or 3 choices, Which choice should you make? Well, you make the one that helps focus you in one clear direction. I can go to this meeting, I can do this meeting, I can talk about this product or this product. When you're focused on your niche, it makes it so much easier to make the decisions that allow you to get smarter and smarter and smarter. The other thing it does, it grows your awareness of that niche. Once you get involved, there's all kinds of niches that you can deal with, all kinds. I went from dealing with pastors to dealing with seminary to dealing with religious institutions. It just keeps growing as you become more and more aware of all the places to serve. I went with the family physicians, then I went to the Association of Family Physicians, and you just keep growing and growing in your profession. It's so important because more and more doors will open to you. And then you get smarter and smarter and smarter about your specific niche. Your expertise will just grow. You'll learn what this person needed, and oddly enough, it's what the next person needed, and oddly enough, that's a common concern. Wow, can you solve that problem? You can. It just works so well. So I want to encourage you to spend time trying to develop it, because what you're developing is relationships. Remember, I said the most important thing that you can do as you study is your what? It's your relationship with whom? With your clients. Boy, this builds relationship and rapport with clients. It gives you instant rapport with prospects. I had a gentleman who worked in Southern California with gentlemen who owned cement companies. And he simply tried the thing we mentioned one day and said, you know, John, I really like working with guys like you who own independent cement companies. It's really been enjoyable for me. I'd like to build my business by working with more guys just like you. Do you think that's a good idea? And he said, well, sure. You've been a real help to me. And he said, so John, if you were me, how would you do it? He said, oh man, you know that each cement company can only go 26 miles because a load of cement can only make that range. So that means there's another one within another 26 miles, another 26 miles. And so we have meetings and we meet once a month, and you're welcome to come. Come and talk about what you do. I'm happy to introduce you. He works with cement companies, not just the companies now, but the suppliers and everyone else, simply because he asked a question. You build relationships with clients, and that's key. And niches always refer you up. Isn't this interesting? I told you in that story, he said, well, yeah, I do pretty good, but come meet this group. You'll meet some really successful guys. Come meet this group. You'll meet some people who are really outstanding. And niches will refer you to people who have more and who do more. They'll never refer you, well, they got this little guy's startup and he needs some help. They're going to refer you up because they want to be seen as people who are successful. It's really important, and you become the sales professional known in that group. Whether it's a Southern California concrete producer, whether it's an optometrist, you will become known in that group as the person to go to, the sales professional, and your business will expand beyond your dreams. I've said to you so many times that I could have never have dreamed the dreams that have come true for us. So having dreams come true is a great thing, but man, going beyond your dreams is what's exciting. Going beyond your dreams and finding new ways to enjoy your family, new ways to benefit your family, new ways to be a blessing to those around you, new ways to serve people and causes you believe in. You know, part of the motivation for doing what we do is so we can serve others better. And when you get a niche, you'll begin to find your awareness of the significance that you bring grows. And we all need to feel significant, right? We need to go beyond success to significance. Beyond success to significance. Bob Buford, who was an amazing man who just passed away, who wrote a book, From Beyond Success to Significance. And that's what we want. We want to be significant. And you know what? There's some things that's just relevant for everybody to speak to. One product that's relevant, and that's NetLaw. Why is that? There's no one in any niche that you will ever speak to, no one who has all their documents in place and up to date. There may be people say, well, yeah, I've got that medical. Oh, I've already done that estate plan. Oh, yeah, I've done some legacy giving. I've thought about that. But then you say, and when was the last time you updated those documents? You'll find that they haven't done it. If they say I already have them, then you can simply say, do you have them in electronic form? Are they as accessible as your smartphone? Because you can make these critical family documents as accessible as a fingertip on a smartphone. We have a new NetLaw app that I was showing some folks in Atlanta that's designed for the client. You know how significant step 6 is for you with playing the videos. What if the client could touch an app on the phone and their vault would pop up? The Craig Family Vault, and you touch a button and it has a drop down. We have that now in prototype. We're going to have that for everyone. The marvelous thing I love about being with NetLaw is we're always looking for another step to make this better for our clients. And what we do is relevant for every niche. Most of the people you will talk to, as you know, 90% don't have the healthcare documents. Over 65% don't have a will and a trust. This product is relevant for everyone. It meets every need from those who are just starting a family to those who are expanding a major business. It's really, really a significant product to offer. There's no barrier because you don't have to be licensed. There's no barrier for finance because it doesn't cost all that much. And if it does, you can even spread it out. It's no barrier for you to talk to a client about it because it's something a client hasn't heard. There's not a lot of competition out there. It just is relevance for everyone. It makes such a difference. There are very few prospects that you'll talk to who don't need the NetLaw offer now. You know, it's just wonderful when you think about going. No one wants to go to the hospital, but when you go, it's wonderful to know that you're prepared. If you have a college student who's off in college, and bad habits can occur at college as well. Know that. We've also maybe participated in a few. Gosh, your college students need their HIPAA authorities, their authority for you to speak for the parent. You need that durable power of attorney for healthcare. So if something happens to a college student, then you can get the information directly from the hospital and you can have a say in what their treatment is. There's so many opportunities to talk about what NetLaw does. There's so few prospects out there who don't need what we do now. There's people who, listen, if you know someone's going through a divorce, they especially need the NetLaw product for their estate planning. If you know of someone who's just moved to your state, they especially need it. If you know someone who's just retired, they especially need it. All these things are so important, and everyone is a prospect for what we offer. NetLaw, I think you're going to find, as I do, that it is not only the product that offers benefits to clients, but it offers the benefits to you. Why? Because as you've heard me say, you can ask those questions that may seem intrusive in any other situation, but are not at all intrusive when you use NetLaw as the motivation. For example, you simply say, thank you for opening your NetLaw account. The NetLaw Family Vault is one of the most important features that we offer in NetLaw. The documents are important, but truthfully, you can get documents anywhere. The problem is you have no accessibility to those documents. Your family doesn't, your medical team doesn't, unless they are online and digital. They're hard to find. NetLaw does that for you. And why is that so important? Because you can find them when you need them. And the Family Vault also does some other things. For example, let's transfer your life insurance into the vault. That way you know where the policy is. Everybody knows what it is. So do you have a life insurance policy that we could transfer into the vault? You don't? Well, let's transfer your wife's life insurance policy into the vault. All we do is scan it right in. In fact, there's a scanner. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a scanner on the new app, so you can scan documents from your phone. Anything you can scan, we can put in the vault. You're going on a trip. By the way, John, congratulations. I know you enjoy your trip to France, to Latin America, to Mexico, to Cancun, to, Canada. Why don't we take a copy of your passport and scan that in your vault? That way you always have access to it. You see, you keep talking about the benefits and you keep learning more and more about the client. That's why I think what we do is not only relevant to every prospect, but it'll help you build your business by asking questions. And Thursday, when I was chatting with one of your colleagues, he simply said to me, questions that are not invasive, questions that are not put off questions, questions that are pertinent and relevant, not because you want to know more, but because you want to help more. That's really important. I just hope you've understood what I'm trying to say today. I really want to be of help to you and understand not only what you do as a salesperson, why you have a natural niche, how they can make you successful, but why this product fits everybody. Remember, I said at the beginning, the most important thing you can know is knowledge about your client. The second most important thing to know is how your product fits your client. And you will not find any client for whom NetLaw is not appropriate. I've really enjoyed being with you today. It's been my pleasure, as it always is. As I said, this is a niche I enjoy working with, helping people in financial services understand the benefit and the blessing of the profession you now serve. To me, it's really been important. Well, we're here to help. You know that you can call Mark. In fact, Mark's out visiting some of our offices now. Vanessa knows as much as anyone I've ever been around about how NetLaw works, or Mary. And now we have another associate there who can help you as well. And Jennifer wants to chat with you. The other good thing about our phone support system is, you know, we not only talk to financial professionals, but we'll talk to your client as well. If your client says, I'm having a problem with this, call. We'll help the client. We're there not only to help you, but to help you help your clients. There's the number. Talk to us, and we'll see you next week. This is Stan Craig, and it's been such a pleasure for me to talk with you. I've really enjoyed our time together, and I hope you have as well. We'll talk to you again next week. And to now, blessings to you. Have a great week, and may your skills get smarter and smarter, and may your success be more and more visible. Thank you again. Bye-bye.